Hi, this is Lady Lex UK and this is a Dreams tutorial. This is part 3 of my shooter mechanic. So last time we put a gun in our player's hand and this is the situation we have so far. So our player can walk around. If they get too close to the guy, he turns and shoots you. There you go. And you can run around and try and get away from him. There you go. He's escaped. But the situation here is these blocks are not going to stop any gunfire. Look at that. You see, you're still getting shot. But what if we managed to get him to run, right? And you went to hide behind this column. You'll see you're still getting shot. It's not recognising that there's something between you and the shooter. Well, let's just stop that. So, having a look to see what's available for line of sight detection. Unfortunately, the detection mode that I've chosen, the trigger zone, does not have a line of sight option. The only trigger zone type that does is the laser scope. So we're going to have to replace our trigger zone here with a laser scope. It's not a big problem, though there are some pitfalls when doing this that you need to be aware of when you're making it. So let's put in a laser scope. So we need a green one, we need a laser scope. Here it is here. First thing to do is we go to the properties here, and we're going to be looking for friend only when you want to shoot our player, which is labelled as friend. And then we want to turn off X-ray mode. So now we've got line of sight. So if it hits anything before it hits our friend here, it's not going to show as a hit. It's only going to show as a hit if it's a direct hit on our friend here. So that's our laser scope done, except for the position of it. Let's go grab it. So grab the ball part of the gizmo and let's turn it round. And we want it in a position so it's directly in front, like so. And I want it sort of here. So when he raises his gun, he's going to be shooting at you. Just need to change the angle slightly. There we go. Now we need to lengthen it out like that. So that's a slight lower angle. So spend some time getting this right. Now, one thing we have to be aware of here, you can't do this. Don't put it so that it's hitting the player. If it's hitting the player, then obviously it's never going to work because it's already detected something, so it stops working. So you must make sure it is in front of your player. You also need to make sure that the keyframe where the gun is raised, I think that's that one. Let's just open that up. You've got to make sure that it doesn't hit the gun first either, because if it hits the gun, then obviously it's going to not work. So we've got our laser scope, that's in position. Now, with the wider trigger zone, you have a wider area down the base here. Now that's quite important because with the laser scope, it's very specific. And it's possible for you as a player to sort of stand at an angle like this and completely miss the laser scope. Let's just put the laser scope back up. Oh. Trying to... Oh, I can't select it from here. Right. Laser scope back up. You see there? You're standing in front of him. He should be able to shoot you from that distance. Goodness me. Except he won't. He'll miss because because of this very, very tight angle here. He's going to miss. So what we're going to do, just to add a little bit more options to it, is I'm going to duplicate these, the laser scope. Let's open up this one. And we're just going to change the angle on this. Again, you've got to be very careful. Just going to change the angle on that one. And open up this laser scope. And we're just going to change the angle. Again, be very careful not to hit the gun. Otherwise it makes the laser scope pointless. So now we have 3 laser scopes. Can we see all 3? I don't think it's going to show us all 3. It's showing me 2. Anyway, you can see there's going to be 3 laser scopes. And so one of them is going to catch you out there in the front. But like I say, be very careful of the gun position. Make sure it doesn't hit anything before it goes out into the wide world. So now I'm going to put in a OR gate. And I'm going to put all the hit somethings into there. We're going to wire the signal to this OR gate's power, like that, and that is going in A, and then we delete that. So now we've replaced it with these 3 laser scopes. So let's try it out. So now he's firing and he's not shooting us. We're not getting shot. But we are getting shot when we're standing in front of him. There we go. You're safe behind the barrier until he comes around and shoots you. There we go. Perfect. That works really well. So now we've got to do the same thing in our puppet, our character puppet. So let's just close down this character. And I want to do something a little bit special with him. So as well as replacing our trigger zone with a laser scope, I want to actually create a laser sight for the gun. Now, I'd like to thank the people that helped me out on the forum. I'd specifically like to thank, let me see if I can get the name. I think it's Cloud something. Whoops, I'll just check it out. I should have looked this up before. Hang on. There we go. Cloud 1985. Who told me what I already knew, to be honest, but I was sort of hoping there was another method that I wasn't aware of, and that turned out there wasn't, but there you go. Right, okay, so we've got our puppet. We're going to swap the trigger zone now for a laser scope. So laser scope goes in. Where was it? Over here. Right. So that laser scope is going to be looking for foe. And X-ray mode is off. Right. So that is now going to need to be positioned. Again, you've got the same situation. Don't let it hit the gun. Be very careful where you place this. I'm going to make that a little bit longer. Let's go up a bit. You want to fiddle about with this and get this right. I'm doing this really quickly because I don't want the tutorial to be too long, but get this right, get this in the right position, spend some time. So there's our laser scope, and that is going to be wired into here, and from here to the power, and then we can delete that one. So that's done. But now I'm going to duplicate this laser scope. and we're going to do something special with this. So this is going to be it's exactly the same laser scope, but this time it's going to select everything. Still like that. And what I'm going to do is I'll just come out of the puppet. I'm going to go into paint mode, and I'm going to create myself a 3D site. Sort of like that. There we go. There's a 3D site, and I'm going to add a little bit of glow onto that. There we go. We don't want it to emit any light. There we go. There. So this is going to be our target, and I'm going to add an emitter. Okay. So this emitter is going to emit no emit speed. We're going to put a 0.1 time between emits. Actually, let's try it as 0. I haven't tried it with a 0. Let's try it with a 0. I know it works with 0.1. Let's try it with a 0. Emitted object lifetime 0.1. And then these are set to maximum, set to continuous, recycle emitted objects. So that's all set up. Then on this page, we want to wire that laser scope, the hit position, to the scene space transform. Now, I've got a 3D shape here. I was hoping that the hit surface orientation would have helped orientate my target, but it didn't seem to work how I expected it to. So, I mean, originally I had them both wired up. It depends on what you're using, I think. So, you might want to do both of those. It won't hurt to do both of those. So you wire hit surface orientation to scene space direction there. So we've got both of those going. And now we need to wire object to emit to that target. And now we want to wire hit something to the power of our emitter. If we don't do that, it puts one in the middle of the scene for some reason. I don't quite know why, but that's what it does. Let's see now what happens. So right, that's not working. I think it's hitting my gun. This is why I said you've got to spend some time. Let's put the keyframe up. Yeah, it's hitting my gun. You see? See, this is where I've gone wrong. I didn't spend some time checking it out. It's hitting my gun, so now it's not working. So I need to just pull this over. Like so. And same with this one. That just needs to go over a bit. Whoa. Watch out. There we go. That's a bit high now. There we go. That should work now. Okay, so now when I raise my gun, you can see there's a laser scope here that tells us where I'm going to be shooting. There we go. You can see the laser scope there on where it's hitting him. There's my laser scope. Look. This is pretty cool. And you get the laser scope on him. I think my laser scopes are a little bit short. I think you might want to make them a little bit longer, but otherwise it works. Now the gun at the moment, obviously the laser scope is off, so we don't really want it to do that. So We only want it to emit, I think, when you've got the L1 button down. So I'm going to put an AND gate in there. There we go. So we hit something and the L1 button is held down, so we've got it raised. So now that you shouldn't get a laser until, there we go, it's raised. We're getting shot a lot. There we are, there we are, there we are. There we are. Perfect. It's working really well. I can't shoot him through the through this barrier. He can't shoot me. And we've got a laser scope. There we are. Okay. I hope that was useful. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in your dreams.